Hi everybody and welcome to the Mental Toughness and Body Show. My name is Rob Evans and I'm your weight loss coach, health strategist and internationally published author, helping take your life, your business, your body, your health, your wellness, your fitness from where you are right now to being unstoppable. And today I want to talk to you about defining success, because as humanoids, we aren't really programmed that well, and we tend to go through life searching for something better normally, but many of us do not actually define what success means to us. So I want to talk about really 4 probably key principles that you can walk through to define what success means to you. And some of this might sound very straightforward, but if it was that easy, why isn't everybody doing it? Because most people find that they're dissatisfied. They're doing something like 85% of people go to jobs that they hate or really don't enjoy. 70% of our population is overweight or obese. The divorce rate is something like more than 1 in 2 at the moment. It's ridiculous. And so how could you say that we're getting it right? Suicide rates are high. Obviously we've got COVID in there as well. But we've got an exceptional use of drugs in our society as well. I mean, we should be doing better than we are. Now, because you're listening to this, I know that you're in the top 1% of people that want to make their life better, the top 1% of high performers in your area of expertise, and that is fantastic. But in defining success even further perhaps for you, because maybe you've completely nailed it in one area of your life, but there are other areas of your life that you haven't. The first thing that I would suggest to you is this. When it comes to success, define first the area of your life, or select the area of your life that you want to become successful first of all. Because let's face it, if you pull apart your life, you can find there's a whole range of different areas, right, of your life. I'm standing in front of a whiteboard right now, so I'm going to draw up a couple of things. So let's just say that there's family, might be one of those things. I'm going to say business/career is another. And let's just say your health and wellness, fitness. I'll just put health and fitness. That could be another one. I'm going to put relationships as one, so as separate to family. I'll call them intimate relationships, but your partner type relationship, and there might be financial, and I'm going to put another one in here. Let's just say that's spiritual, and I mean I guess you could add some other ones in there as well, but just broadly speaking, if we categorized ourselves, if we said that we were really successful with our family, our business, our career, our health and fitness, spiritually, financially, and our relationship, I think you'd agree that you'd be doing pretty well. You'd be doing pretty well. So what I would suggest is pick one. Pick the area that you want to be successful at, because it's going to be different for each of us. So let me pick, the first one I wrote down was family. Depending on where you are in your life cycle, so I'm 52 years old, so it's going to be different for me, or it's different for each one of us. Let's say family. I'm working with some younger clients right now where their definition of success is, what would you think? They want to have a baby. And they may be going through IVF or really struggling and been going for years for that and trying to improve their health and put themselves in a position. But for some people, it just doesn't happen, does it? And it's so painful to see people in that situation. But I'm really grateful for being in a position where I can help people to get into that position where they do become parents. And that's really satisfying. But obviously that is success for some people where they are in their age. It's having a child or children. At my age, I'll tell you what success looks like for me today. Being able to have a meaningful conversation with my 15-year-old daughter, and I get something more back than just something that is, yeah, Dad, that's a good idea, or let's talk about this, or Dad, what do you think about that, or whatever, as opposed to seeing the back of her head as she's walking away or stomping up the stairs or doing those sorts of things. Now, anyone that's got teenage daughters or a teenage son or whatever out there, I'm sure you can relate to exactly what I'm talking about. But for me, this week, that would be success. That would be success. So let's pick another area. Let's say that financial. So financial for you, success for a lot of people that maybe just starting out in business and say, well, I want to be a millionaire. Okay, fantastic. People just pick $1 million because they think, well, it's a round number and yeah, it'd be nice to be a millionaire. Well, eventually we'll all be millionaires with the rate of inflation. But what is that for you? What does success mean in a financial sense for you? Does it mean that you can retire, in inverted commas, earlier from your work or your business because you've been successful and you want to take a step back, play more golf, or spend more time doing a charitable work, or spend more time with your partner, or traveling, or spend more time with your kids, or whatever it is. Maybe it's to make more. Maybe you're so driven to be more and more successful that you just want to put in more work. You just want to go from 1 million to 2 million to 5 million to 10 million. Maybe it's like JT who wants to be a billionaire. Whatever it is for you, there is no right or wrong answer here because it's you and you're individual, and you will all have, just like me, different drivers, different goals, and a different definition of success. Take health and fitness. If you're a long-time listener of the Mental Toughness and Body Show, you'll know that my definition of success is what? Okay, good work for those of you that said a six-pack, because I'm working towards the six-pack for my final photo shoot, which takes place in 15 days' time. 15 days. I'm almost at the end of it. Now, am I where I want to be right now? No, I am not. But I'm well on the way there. So that's my definition of success. Some other people's definition of success is they might be... So I've got a client that's lost 92 kilos. Okay, 92 kilos. So for those of you that are over in the US or Europe that work in pounds, I've just got a calculator here. I'm just going to work that out for you. That is 202.4 pounds. Okay, that's a lot. That's a lot, right? Now, her success was getting to where she is right now. That was success for her. For some people, it might be losing 5 kilos. Some people, it might be getting a six-pack. Some people, it might be losing 2 kilos. Some people, it might be just being able to be pain-free when I walk. It's just different for everybody because we've all got different backgrounds. We set different standards for what success looks like for us. So you've got the idea. You've really got to nail what it is that you want. That's step 2. Select the area of your life. Then what the hell do you want? What do you want? What do you want? The third step, which is why you want it. Why do you want to achieve that level of success? Why is $1 million so important to you? Is it just because you want to call yourself a millionaire? Is that what it is? Well, from personal experience, I can tell you when you have no money, and like when you're first starting out, when I first left home I can almost remember this so clearly. I didn't really work as, when I was studying through uni and stuff. I lived at home. Mum and Dad paid for all those things, but I had to pay my way through uni, but I didn't pay board. Actually, I did pay board in the end. I think it was $20, something like that a week. I ended up getting a job at a big business in town, actually, where my dad worked. And I was working in the accounting type area doing admin work. And I couldn't believe the money that I was getting there, which, looking back, it probably wasn't too much at all. But for me, that was getting nothing. And then all of a sudden, bang, I got this. It's like, oh, wow, that's pretty special. And when I left home to move away from the country down to the Big Smoke in the city, And I had to all of a sudden start. I was sharing with a mate I went through uni with. We shared a flat, and so it was paying rent, it was paying food, it was doing all these things that I'd never done before, paying for the public transport and all these things. And I started on $25,000 a year, which was a really, really good wage back in 1990 when I first started my job. I was like, wow, I've got all this money. And, I was saving and everything. And before then, like the concept of $1 million just didn't seem possible. But once I surpassed that, life looks differently. So you're looking at that next thing. What is that next thing? But why is that important for you? I think for me, the $1 million to start with was about kind of like, for me, it was like made it. You've made it. And in saying that, I'm not into cars at all. Like I don't see the value in investing in hundreds of thousands of dollars in a car. I drive a Mazda CX-7, and it is my only new car that I ever had, and I bought it in 2009. So it's 11 years old. It still runs like it's brand new. I still love it. My point here is I was watching a special on Rolls-Royce. Really, really fascinating to see the history of the Rolls-Royce and everything that goes into making of a Rolls-Royce. It's spectacular. And they were talking about that, and they said there's something about a Rolls-Royce, and I'm likening this to something about the $1 million. And they said if you drive a Rolls-Royce, it's kind of the status symbol that you've made it. Now, I would never, invest that much money in a Rolls-Royce because I don't think, it's worth it. It seems a sin to spend that much money on a car. But if you've got more money than you know what to do with, then maybe it's something that you would do. And I think that for me was the thing. Well, once you get to $1 million, it's like, man, look what I've done. I've built this. I've created this off my own doing. I've been able to do this. And so I think when I did it, I was like, yeah, it feels good. Yeah, that's really good. But I didn't stop. It's like you keep going and you keep moving forward. So I think you've got to really determine for yourself, why is that so important for you? Why? For your health and fitness. Why? For your family. Do you want your teenage daughter to talk to you? Why is it that I want to be successful in your career, or you want to get to managing the company, like being the CEO, the managing director of the company? Let's talk about your intimate relationship. So for me, I don't have one. I'm single, happily single. And for you, well, okay, let's say for me. So success for me might be to find that, deep, soulful connection and share my life with that person. Like that's pretty accurate. That's what I would define as success for me. And I thought I had it, to be honest. Sometimes maybe there's just a timing difference, and maybe we'll come back together at some other point in life, and it will work more magically. Who knows? But what is that for you? Maybe it is having that. You want to have that deep, soulful connection. You want somebody that is, completely connected to you, a romantic person, an adventurous person, somebody that wants to do a workout with you, for instance, or somebody that has their own interests so that you can be apart from them. It's different for each person. I remember my mum and dad, when Dad, he was kind of forced into retirement because he got made retrenched. He got made redundant. And I said to Mum, what's it like having Dad around now? And in my mind, I was expecting her to reel off all these positive reasons as to, how nice it is, the things they can do together now. But she said, he's just here all the time. And it's so much work. Like he just expects me to make the food all the time for, he makes his breakfast, but lunch and dinner and snacks and everything. I have to wait on him. Now, that's obviously something that she created for herself, but I thought, all right, That really surprised me when she said that. So maybe success for mum in that time was, can you please just get him a job and, get him away from me so that I can do my own thing? Because mum, she hadn't really worked a job since, before she had kids, just after she got married. And then she became a marriage celebrant, and she invested a lot of time working in a room separate from the house, doing all her stuff, and Dad did his stuff, and then they came back together. So, it's really important in a relationship, isn't it, to be able to have your own things and be really happy in that, have your own interests, but then be able to come back together and still be powerfully connected at the same time. So, you know what I'm talking about, but if you can't determine exactly what it looks like, what you want, that's when you're going to struggle. Like, success is a really powerful thing. And, all right, so right now, in my studio, I'm looking at a wall of 9 photos, which are 9 of my most powerful photos that I've got with my celebrities. So, for instance, I've got one, I'm looking right at Richard Branson. So, Richard Branson, do you think Richard Branson's definition of success and my definition of success would be the same when it comes to finances? No, probably not. I mean, I'm not aiming to be a billionaire, and maybe he didn't aim to be a billionaire either. It just turned out that way over time, and he said, yep, I'm just going to keep stretching with the brand. It's a different level, a different standard that you set for yourself. So if you want to be a billionaire, then that's going to be different for somebody that wants to be a millionaire. That's a different mindset. It's a completely different attitude. I'm looking now at Jillian Michaels, and I have to say, we look good together. We're about the same age. I know she doesn't bat for my team, but anyway, I'm interviewing her soon. So her idea of success, I've been reading her book, Master Your Metabolism, and I had no idea of her story and how rough her background was, and she got screwed over, and she had to start again, and what she's made of herself now. She defined a different level of success for herself, and she's achieved it, but she's still striving. So it's like a ladder, and you just keep climbing up and climbing up and climbing up to that next level, that next level, that next level. And I think that makes it super, super exciting. So understanding why you want something is really, really important. And then the last point about defining your success, how are you going to know when you've made it there? Because you can keep beating yourself up for not achieving. But if you haven't set a goal in place, so for me it's a 6-pack. Now you could say, okay, is it just a 6-pack? So as in, like, you can just make it out? Is it a deeply cut 6-pack? What exactly is it? What are you talking about? And for me, it's a deeply cut one. So if I don't achieve that, then I'll feel like that I haven't achieved the success that I truly want to. And I'll probably keep pushing until I get it, even though I've got my final photo shoot on that date and that finishes for the competition that I'm entering. I will keep going because I've worked so hard if I don't achieve what it is that I want to achieve. If it's the $1 million, well, that's measurable, isn't it? And that's the key thing. How do you measure this? Like, you can't measure a 6-pack, but you can, certainly from a visual perspective, I know what it is that I want to be seeing. So that's measurable by my mind's eye. Let's take just say the one I talked about, family, before. If I'm able to consistently engage with my daughter in conversations, then I would say, actually, do you know what? That's been successful because, we're having fun, she's engaging, it doesn't look like she's throwing daggers at me when she looks at me. That would be successful. Intimate relationships. Well, if I had that deep soulful connection with that key person in my life, and we just shared these these beautiful moments and a beautiful life together, and we both had our separate things and came together, and we were just really great as one and nurturing each other and growing and all that kind of stuff, then I would say, well, yeah, that's been successful. This is a beautiful, harmonious relationship. So I think some of them are easily measurable, and some of them you have to determine, okay, well, these are the things that I will put in place, the KPIs, if you like, that I'll put in place to know whether I've made it or not. Health and fitness, if it's a weight loss goal, then that's, again, directly measurable. But this is where I think success is not just feeling better. You want to have something else that's attached to that. Your business or career, maybe it's expanding into other countries. Maybe it's expanding interstate. Maybe it is achieving that CEO role. You make it to that position that you've always had your eye on. Again, that's measurable because you either get there or you don't. So again, really important to have that measure. I mentioned spiritual before. That one's a tough one to measure, but what you could say is, I have some clients that are very they're quite religious and Catholicism. And so for them, what is success for them is praying every day, before they start their day. That's a really important component for them. Now, that's not important for me. I'm not a religious person. I think I'm spiritual, just in treating people the way that I would like to be treated. But for them, it's about, okay, they want to be praying each day, or they want to, say prayers with their kids or their partner or whatever it is. Again, that one's an easy one to say, well, yeah, if we're doing that consistently, then that really fills me up. That makes that part of me, my life, successful. So I know some of this might sound like this is kindergarten stuff, but why aren't more people doing it? Until you start to define success for yourself, the area of your life where you want to be successful, what you want, why you want it, and how are you going to know when you've made it? If you can answer all of those questions, then that immediately carves a tunnel of light through any fog that you may be feeling and creates focus and energy. And guess what? You've now got something to aim at, and you will achieve it. The problem with most of us is, out of all of those things that I wrote down there, so I've written down 6 things, most people might pick 1 or maybe 2. And maybe you might say, well, my family stuff is fantastic. My health and fitness is amazing. My business is great. My intimate relationship is great too. I'd say congratulations. If you're doing awesomely on those 4, then you're doing super, super well. Chances are that all of us could improve on all or some of those things. And I think you would find that the reason that you're not as successful in those areas is that you haven't really defined the success for you. So you don't really know, but it just feels like you're not really making progress. Like obviously right now with COVID and everything, and I'm being inundated with inquiries of people that are so desperate to make a change to their health and wellness because they're just sick and tired of feeling the way that they have been, and they realise that they're now having some poor consequences as a result of the way that they've adjusted their lifestyle with COVID. So they want to fix that. So guess what? Now they're focusing a lot of time into improving that. Most of us don't focus enough on all those key areas of my life, and I would be, hand on heart, say that I'm also one of those things. So if I run through all of those for me, so family, last night, and early this morning, I was kept awake for hours just contemplating, success for me as a dad, and with 2 teenage daughters who are, look, they're good girls. I'm lucky, but I feel like I'm not being as successful as I would like. So I'm thinking about, okay, what do I need to do to change that for me, and what would it look like? And I already defined what some of that success would be. And I realised that teenage years, I've been one too, not a girl, but a teenage boy, and I know that you hate your parents, and you only want to engage with your friends, and you don't want to have to do anything, you don't want to be nagged at, and you just want to eat pretty much whatever you want and just leave them alone. But I want to do better than that. So I've got to find a way to be able to do that. So I think I can do better there. Business career, well, my business, I think always I'm looking to how can I go to that next level? How can I keep improving? So right now, to be honest, most of the work that I'm doing is just fielding inquiries with people, doing consultations, creating meal plans for people, taking on new people, and the business is growing. So that's a really cool thing. But I'm still always looking for what's that next thing I can be doing, should be doing. How can I engage somebody else in my team to be doing this part of the work so I can now focus more on this part? My health and fitness, well, that one is the one that I'm 100% zoned in on every single day. That one is my highest value, and that's the one where I am, I know what success looks like. I'm really focused on that. But each day I'm still looking for what can I do better? How can I do better with the timing, my water, my sleep, all that kind of stuff. If I looked at spiritual, I live by the philosophy of treating others as I would like to be treated. And I remind myself of that all the time. I could take more time out for myself to whether so I would call meditation, for instance, or taking that time out, even if people use meditation quite loosely, but I mean, even just taking some quiet time out for myself to just relax and unwind. For me, that's a spiritual type experience for me. Even doing a workout can be a spiritual experience for me. Financial, I'm solid, but still I'm always looking for that, how do we keep growing and keep growing and keep growing? So, but again, during COVID, I became very, very focused for obvious reasons. Our industry has been one of the health and fitness industry has, it's been raped viciously, I would say. If I didn't know better, I would say that the people that are the decision makers in our society have inappropriately labelled the fitness sector as being dirty, irresponsible, unprofessional, and unable to run a safe and clean business in this COVID environment. But because I set a standard of success for myself as being able to, not just do what maybe a lot are doing and just leave the industry and go and do something else or wait for things to open up, I changed things. And that's worked really successfully for me. So that was the first thing that I did. And then I thought, okay, there are some great opportunities right now for investment. So I thought now is the time to review all of my financial positions in all my investments, and I chose to invest more in certain areas. So COVID has really opened up, some opportunities for me, and it just created that focus for me. But again, every day I'm looking for, okay, what more can I be doing here? And the financial one is obviously linked to my business because I don't work for anyone, I work for myself. So it's like, okay, if I ramp this up, then I can be saving this much here, investing it there, etc., etc. So working on that principle, I try and do more than the 10%, whatever 10% you earn, you save the 10% and invest. So again, that one, I think my focus right now is really good. But I can still do more there. I can still do more. Intimate relationships, well, it's non-existent for me. So you could say, well, I'm failing at that right now. But for me, success for me right now is to just work on those other things. And, getting me right, doing the things that I want to do. And then, look, if that one's going to happen, then, maybe I'll have some focus on that down the track. But right now, I'm not focused on it. It's just not a high rate for me, but that's how I've defined success. So I know I've covered a lot here, but it is simple. You can really switch up how successful you're going to be by selecting that area of your life where you want to be successful first. Define what it is, define why you want it, and how you're going to know when you've made it. It's an interesting little exercise for you to do right now, and maybe to have a look at some of these other areas of your life and say, actually, do you know what? I've been thrashing myself with the business and driving it here, but in that time I've neglected my intimate relationship, or I've neglected my family, or the spiritual side of me I'd like to improve, or financially, I think we can do better, so let's do that. My health and fitness, oh gosh, the belt's gone out a couple of notches during COVID, so let's do something about that now to fix that. If you need help from me, go to the mentaltoughnessandbodyshow.com, opt in for a free consultation. I'd love to connect with you. Stay safe, stay well. We've got the US election is, I believe the polls are starting to close right now as I'm recording this. So we'll see who wins, hey? We might talk about that in a couple of days. Stay safe. See you soon.